Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, Old Henry. Yes, it's a candy bar. No, it's also a movie. And it's a movie starring Tim Blake Nelson, who is pretty awesome. He's a pretty good actor. He's got a lot of different characters in him. And it also has Trace Adkins and Stephen Dorff in it as well. And a bunch of other handsome men, I'm sure. But it's a Western, I think. It looks like a Western. But I'm assuming it's Tim Blake he owns a ranch, and he takes in an injured person who has a satchel of cash, and then this other posse, that's what it says, I wouldn't call him a posse, sometimes I would, I don't know, comes knocking at the door looking for this guy with the cash, and he's got to pick sides. And he happens to be a pretty good gunslinger himself. So it comes into question who he really is. But we know, this is what it says in Imdb. Who knows what it's really about? But here's what's pretty cool. It is a 7.2 on Imdb. Hold. 7,932 people have rated it so far. Almost 8,000 people. And it's a 7.2. So I have high expectations. I didn't know about this film. It is on Prime Video, as my son says. You have Prime Video? So we're going to get into it here. It's about an hour and 43 minutes long. I'll figure out if it's right on track with what IMDb says, or if not, I'll check in, let you know. I'll let you know if it's really a 7.2. That's pretty exciting. Stick around. I'll be back. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Old Henry, and I have to say, no check-ins obviously, but we're not even, the credits are over. I had to sit here and think about it. There was no check-ins because it really was what they described in IMDb for the most part. And I really have mixed emotions about this film. So, it sets up, as we know, Tim Blake Nelson is the farmhand. He has a son. He's widowed. And the two of them live there, raising pigs and being farmers. And they find this guy who's injured and welcome him into his home and start, patching him up. And the guy has a satchel of cash. So, of course, that guy has his own story. And, Tim Blake Nelson doesn't so much believe him. He doesn't know what to do. Stephen Dorff heads the gang coming, or the posse, as they said in the beginning, coming to look for this guy who is in there, and they have their own story, and so Tim Blake Nelson is caught in between this thing. And there's many movies like this where basically, not so much this exactly, but the guy's got to defend his household and decide what's best for his household, him and his son. And that would have been my check-in. That was it. There was really nothing else, and it's funny because it's very simplistic, if you will. As I mentioned, there's not many actors. All guys. There's no females in this film. They're all guys. And there's only a select few. There's the three that I talked about in the house. For the most part, there's three that show up, maybe 4. And it increases to maybe 8 or 10. And that's it. And only 6 of them have lines, maybe. Whatever. It's very simplistic, and that's okay. And that's great that, the Hateful Eight was very similar. All takes place in one spot and with minimal actors. Okay, you can still make a movie that way, and that's great. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it felt like a drug on for a little bit for me. I kind of got bored with it for a while. Then they hit you with it, right? And they hit you with the fact, like I said, it was a 7.2 on IMDb. From a lot of reviews, and this is just how I felt when they hit you with that, with the aha moment, as I'll say. It's like, okay, now, as soon as I realized what was going on, I was like, this is pretty dang cool. I'm pretty excited about it. I like it, and it really re-energized me towards the film. And this is what took me to full credits. So then I had to think back, and it was like, was it just that piece of it, or was it the entire film that I was excited about? And I come back and I say, you know what? the entire film, I liked what they did, but too late, not enough, I'll say. You know? Really. I don't know how else to say it. It's hard to talk about it without spoiling it or doing anything like that. If you've seen the film, you probably know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen the film, it's worth watching, because if you're into, I'll say westerns, if you're into westerns, check it out. If you're into westerns and, you know, old gunslinger movies, you might like it. Right? Now, don't go into it with the thought you're going to see some great gun battles. There are some, but they're not phenomenal. I would think they would be better. There's even some missed opportunities. But if you like that kind of stuff, maybe you're still going to watch this film. And when you do, you'll see what I'm talking about. I hope. I don't know really what else to say about the film, but that's how I feel. I wanted to give it a 7 or an 8, but I had to go back to a 6 at least, because I had to rethink about everything that happened leading up to the dramatic, whatever they call it. I say this every other movie review, like the, not the dramatic conclusion, but, you know, the big reveal, if you will, the dramatic thing. I forget, clause? No, I don't know. I'll look it up on Google after this. I apologize for not knowing that. For doing over 1,000 movie reviews, you think I would remember the dramatic climax. You know, when that happens, that's what it's called. I usually call it the aha moment, but the dramatic climax, it's like, ah! And it's like, oh, wait a minute. So, I'm rambling now. That's hard. It's hard when you don't want to spoil it for people. I encourage you, if you like the things that I said before, to go ahead and watch it. I'm going to let me know your thoughts, and we'll talk later. You know, I want to say certain things right now, I just can't do it. I want to reference other things, I can't do it. And I'm choking on my cinnamon, so I gotta go. Hopefully I was helpful in some form or fashion. I tried my best. But let me know. Drop some comments in there. Love to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.
Thank you.